Welcome, everybody. A very, very special welcome to those of you who are here present. We are very small in numbers today, so that means that every person's role is 3 times as important. You are 3 times as important because the number is small. So very welcome and thank you. A very special welcome also to the promoters and the readers of the Curate's Diary who are joining us on YouTube. I really appreciate your great loyalty over the years. We're moving in the direction of bringing out the diary now for 40 years, not around 36 years, something like that. So I really appreciate your loyalty. And again, also a very special welcome to our YouTube family. And sincere thanks to those of you who'd give the videos the thumbs up and those who place the comments underneath. Even the comments that are, a little bit anti or whatever, but wonderful. Thank you very much. Your support is much appreciated. Last Sunday, I spoke on the subject of evil. And sometimes one has to be a little bit careful when even speaking about that subject. I have experienced over the years that if I had a major article in the Curate's Diary about some wonky psychic or a false visionary, very often there was hell with the printing presses. Absolute hell sometimes with the printing presses. And last Sunday I spoke on the subject of evil. I wasn't dealing with a wonky visionary or a psychic, and I thought it was safe enough. But it's remarkable the number of things that ended up happening, and I don't know whether a coincidence or whether it was the old boy trying to throw a spanner into the works or not. First thing that happened, when I went to switch on my computer to do up the article on it, the computer wouldn't come on. Then here on Sunday, the battery ran out, even though it was freshly charged. And now I did leave it on during communion, during the Mass. I wasn't recording, but the video camera was on. It was on during the hymn singing. So maybe. And then when I went home on Sunday night and loaded it to YouTube, at first 3 of the clips of the Mass kept corrupting. Just one after another. Eventually I got the first one to stay good and come in. I got the third one then eventually to stay good and come in. But the second one, the clip's to be about 5 minutes long. That's the way the camera divides it. But I had effectively given up on being able to get the second one to work when I sort of accidentally gave it one final try, and it worked. And then on Monday, I'd already tried my computer again on Sunday, it wouldn't work. I tried it again on Monday, it wouldn't work. So I brought it in to the computer crowd in Gorey. Obviously they weren't able to look at it immediately. But when they turned it on Tuesday, it was working perfectly. Oh, yeah. And on Wednesday then, I phoned them on Wednesday, and they told me that was working perfectly in the storm, you may remember, on Wednesday. So I headed off because Shillelagh can flood sometimes, and I wanted to get back before the Shillelagh flooded. And rushed in, got my computer, brought it home, I rigged it up, and guess what? It wouldn't work. So I ended up going back on Wednesday evening with the computer, brought it into the shop, and while I was there, they plugged it in, they tried it in a couple of different sockets, it wouldn't work. So I left it with them. But guess what? When they turned it on Thursday, it was working perfectly. And because it was working perfectly, they couldn't find the problems with it. It was as if once I left, it worked. But anyway, I have brought it home, and I'm praying for this common issue of the Curate's Diary. It's really, I have more or less decided that I would turn it on and not switch it off, just put it to sleep. But it has had a problem over the years that sometimes it starts revving up in a big way, a roar, literally roaring. Come ahead, welcome. Yes. And but I was hoping that just only happens maybe every 6 months or so. But I switched it on, and guess what? Yesterday morning it started roaring, and I had to switch it off. So I don't know whether I'll have it working tomorrow or not when I get down to the Curate's diary. If I can get this Curate's diary out of it, I'll be bringing it to Apple technicians to see if they'll be able to sort it out. See, it's an old computer, about 20-year-old, and I'm not able to operate the modern programs. So if I'm not able to get this computer working, I have difficulty. But we entrust that to the Lord as well. But what I'm just saying is, when dealing with the subject of evil, be aware that the old boy might try to come at you. Now, there's some people without proper spiritual maturity who go in for doing what effectively are exorcisms. They're taking great risks. At least in my case, the only thing it could do at me was, if it was evil, I don't know, it was a coincidence. The only thing it could do at me was try to create problems from the outside. A thought coming into my mind. Way back, when my sister had maybe her second child, and my mother brought the first child up to mind it while my sister was recovering from having the second child. And the sheepdog did not appreciate it at all. He was no longer the centre of attraction. And he growled, and he growled, and he growled. And then he caught a stage where nobody was looking, and he rushed up and he cocked his leg at the cot. That was all he could do. And so too, if you have the inside sealed, if you're okay within yourself, then the old boy can only attack you from the outside. But if you have vulnerabilities from within you, pray indeed against the forces of evil for yourself. Pray indeed for deliverance from the forces of evil. And praying sort of in general for other people to be delivered from the forces of evil. But don't get into doing exorcisms if you have things within yourself that have not been sorted out. In fact, within the Catholic Church, we have rules concerning exorcisms anyway, but it isn't everybody that abides by the rules, as you probably know. There's always people who feel the rules don't apply to themselves. Now, just a second little thing that I'll mention. Those of you who read the comments beneath my videos. Now, some people watch the videos on television, you can't see the comments. But those of you who watch the comments beneath my videos may be familiar with the fact that there's one particular person, pretty near every video, he puts in a sort of an attacking comment about paedophile priests. Those of you, if you're familiar with the comments beneath my videos, you will probably have seen his comments because he puts them underneath pretty near every video. And he sometimes refers to one defrocked priest, former priest, called Tony Walsh, who caused great hurt, great hurt. And he sometimes refers to him as being my colleague. Now, as it happens, I never met Tony. I was never in the same room with him. I never corresponded with him. I'm not from the same diocese. So calling him my colleague is, slightly stretching it. However, there is one thing I would ask you to keep in mind, and that is, we don't know in what way this particular person or a family member has been hurt by a paedophile priest, and possibly the one I referred to. We don't know. There may have been great hurt caused to some family member by a paedophile priest, and particularly perhaps by Tony Walsh. So I would ask you to bear that in mind. And because of that, I give him a considerable degree of latitude. There's one thing I do not allow on our channel. For the good of our channel members, there's one thing I do not allow, and that is people going in under other people's comments. And if you go in under somebody's comments and put a reply to that comment, your reply will go straight to their inbox as well as appearing on YouTube. And one thing I do not allow, for the sake of our members, is people going in under other people's comments and placing negative comments under other people's comments. It could be upsetting to some people, so I don't allow it. Now, on my last video, he did that to a couple of people. He went in under their comments, and because of that, I gave him a warning. And threatened him with being blocked. I can block a person if I wish to block them, and I threatened them with being blocked. But the one thing then I would ask in return, nobody go in under his comments. Just let him comment away. Amen. And I'll put a comment underneath his comment, and let that be the only comment that's placed under his comment. So because we can't ban him from putting comments under other people's comments if people are going in under his comments and putting negative replies to his comments. Now, possibly because I warned him, he put another comment, and which was, if the nickname he gives me, doesn't want to answer a question, he just blocks you. And amazingly, somebody gave him a thumbs up for that comment, despite the fact that I have never, ever blocked a person for that reason, ever, on YouTube. So a false comment, but I don't mind him saying it, but somebody giving a thumbs up, you're supporting a falsehood. And what should you do if you support a falsehood? Go to confession. Isn't that right? Now, I will just outline briefly some of the rules I have as to who I will block on our channel. First of all, I have blocked those who seek to put links to sex dating sites. I've had to deal with that. I've eventually, I think, got rid of them. I blocked them. But they kept coming up with new names, and I was all the time having to block new names, and reporting them to YouTube for pornography was no use. But I discovered that if you reported them for spam, that worked. And since I reported them for spam, I think YouTube has dealt with them, but they've gone away anyway. So that's one group I blocked. A second group I blocked is those who are seeking to promote false charities. In other words, to conduct scams. I have blocked those, so that's a second group I have blocked. A third group or person I blocked is a particular person who is a member of a group that has left the Catholic Church, who doesn't believe that there has been a valid Pope since before the Second Vatican Council, and who started going in under everybody's comment, not just putting up a general comment. She'd have got away with putting up a general comment, and she could have put up a general comment under every video, but instead she went into under everybody else's comment and put a link to this particular group she belongs to. And I gave her a warning, and she didn't heed it, and then I blocked her. A fourth group I have blocked is where people go in under other people's comments and give nasty replies that just might be upsetting to some people. Because again, remember, the replies to people's comments go into the person's inbox that has made the comment that one is replying to. And not everybody is able for getting nasty comments in their inbox or aggressive comments. Of course, what I consider nasty, the person who made them probably doesn't consider nasty, but I consider them nasty. And where I see that happening, and by the way, if I don't see every comment that's put under people's comments, if you find yourself getting replies that are not nice, just draw it to my attention, and then I will deal with it. So they are the four categories of people that I have blocked. But I've never blocked anybody because I wasn't prepared to answer that question. Of course, YouTube has their own system. And somehow the YouTube AI system, artificial intelligence system, it has words that possibly trigger and they take down comments. Good comments from personal friends have been taken down off my channel, not by myself, but it would appear by YouTube for some particular reason. And indeed, I remember on one occasion, there was a young lady that's into doing videos, and I was trying to give her a word of encouragement and so forth. And I saw that these links to sex dating sites were being placed under her videos, and I was trying to alert her. And I sent several alerts to her, and every time I put an alert in under her video of what was happening, YouTube took it down. So if YouTube takes down your comments, don't blame me. It's not in my area of responsibility or my area of control.